Good morning, Mark. Thanks for watching. I have a couple of the Tooklers, Toolcker. I have two of those. Make sure you check out Cliff Curry's upgrades for that machine. I don't know if you know about Curry Custom Cutlery out in Hawaii. Well, I appreciate everybody watching out there. I hope you hit that thumbs up button. It does help our little business down here in Texas grow. I go to 1200. That's as far as I go with kitchen knives. And then I use a felt belt with no dressing or anything on it to get off the leftover burr, any burr that's left over on the blade. So here's the felt belt, and Cliff has a couple of different models of this belt. 20 degrees per side. Thanks, Raymond. Thanks for popping in. This is a 40-year-old set of Hinkle knives that have never been sharpened. And they are dull. Well, I mean, you know, some Japanese knives are as low as 13 degrees, so it just depends on the brand. Western knives, for the most part, are sharpened at a fairly high edge angle, 20 degrees, whereas Japanese knives could be lower, a lot lower. These are Hinkles, and so they should be at 20 degrees per side. Yeah, that's right, Mark. About 16. Some are lower, but that's a pretty standard. 16 is pretty standard for a Japanese knife. I appreciate everybody watching out there. I hope you hit that thumbs up button, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. We are Sharpen Right Services. We're located in League City, Texas. League City's halfway between Houston and Galveston on the Texas Gulf Coast. We sharpen salon, barber, and pet grooming shears, clipper blades, sewing and industrial scissors, and just about any kind of knife. We're doing a set of Hinkle knives. They're about 40 years old, and the lady said they had never been sharpened. Should be the opposite, Mark. The thumb should be 15 and the fingers should be 45, I believe. Thumb 15, I had to think about it for a second. Thumb side should be the 15 degrees and the finger side should be 45. That's on a Ginger anyway. Unless there's another brand out there that's got it opposite. Barney? Well, you made me think about it there, Mark. I had to think for a second. I mean, this knife is dull, man. I just can't believe it. It's never been sharpened. Aaron, I'm starting off with a worn 120 grit. It's probably not 120 anymore, but these knives are really dull, so I'm going to need to take the material off to get a bevel on it. I don't want to heat the blade up. And the 120 is pretty aggressive. I mean, it should be noticeable. You should see it pop up. But, you know, some of the modern steels, like some of the bench-made knives with the more exotic steels, they don't produce any burr whatsoever. I mean, this is a pretty noticeable burr. I don't know if y'all can see that on the camera or not. If you look at that edge, watch that burr pop up. And it took me a while to get a burr, but I've got a nice one now. So Aaron, the next one is a 400 grit. If you're still online, you want to know what the grit is. This is 400, and it's only going to, now that I've got a nice new bevel, it only takes a couple of passes to refine it to the next level. And these 3M Trizac does not produce any heat whatsoever. I say whatsoever. It's very little heat produced by these belts. I appreciate everybody watching out there. Hope you hit that thumbs up button, and I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. It does help our little business down here in Texas work out. I like trailing. This is a reversible machine. I can do edge leading. I just don't like it. I like edge trailing. Everybody's got their preference. I went from the 120, 400, 600, 1200, and now I'm just going to use a felt belt, basically to get the burr off. Looks good. I mean, she ought to be real happy with these knives. They are super dull. She said she was thought about buying a new set. I'm like, no way, this is a great set of knives. Full tang hinkles. Beautiful knives. Look at them. That's a beautiful knife. Full tang, quality steel. Just need to be sharpened. You can just Google it, or you can do a scratch test plumb. Have you done know how to do a scratch test? Where you put the marker on it, put a Sharpie across the bevel. I guess I need to do a video on scratch testing. I think Tormek has one on their website. You probably should go from high to low. Well, no, you probably should go from low to high. I had to think about that one. I think you got that other way around, because if you go to low, it should it should show the edge behind it. No, if you're going to sharpen razors, you want to do a razor by just with stones. The Tormek is a good machine. It's just slow. It sharpens a lot of things really well, but if you have a ton of knives to do, it takes forever. Exactly. I don't think this lady's put these in the dishwasher much because the handles aren't cracked. And for a 40-year-old set of knives, you would think they would be beat up more than this. She's taking pretty good care of these knives. Jeff, hey, how's it going, buddy? I tell people not to put them in the dishwasher, but I can tell when people put their knives in the dishwasher. Jeff, I'm trying to get used to this new machine. It is not as fast as the 75 was. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to get used to this machine. There is a lot to work around. I'm going to order some of the 2x42 belts from Cliff Curry. James, it's more of just me. It's a different feel than the 75. The changing the angle is a little different. You know, on the 75 you had one handle to loosen it and move it up and down. This has got a bolt, a nut. And so it's not as fast. It's fine. I don't want anybody to think it's not a great machine. It's a fantastic machine. It's just going to be a learning curve for me. So this set of knives, this may be, I don't know, 50 or 60 knives I've done on this machine. I was just used to the 75. They make really good machines. I may go to the 2x42. It does other belts besides the 1x30, just the 1x30. It'll do 2x42s. It's just different. I mean, I used that 75 for over 7 years. You get used to certain things, you know, and the tracking is in a bad spot here. Whereas the 75, the tracking was up front. The tracking is back here, and it's hard to get your fingers around the tracking. adjustment. It's in a bad spot. I timed it the other night. I did 3 8-inch chef knives in 8 minutes. That's not bad. And the tracking is not as good on this machine either. I rarely had to set the tracking on the 75, and I on this machine, seem to need to set the tracking more often. I don't like that. That takes time. The 120 creates a lot of heat, but these knives are so dull. "40 years old." She said at least 40 years old. She didn't know how old they were. She couldn't remember exactly when they got them. Well, I appreciate everybody watching out there. I hope you're having a good day wherever you're at. Yeah, that seems to be the case. And it wasn't on the 75. On the boning knife, it depends on the brand, but I would probably do a boning knife somewhere around, if it's an American boning knife, or a Western boning knife, I'd probably do it around 18 degrees. Cleaver, I like 20 degrees. I mean, if it'll take it on a cleaver, if the steel is hard enough. Victorinox, I would do 18 degrees on the boning knife. The chef knife, I'd do 20. The cleaver, I would do 20 degrees per side. I love Victorinox knives. I have a set, and I use those the most. Lloyd, it's going away from me. I'm doing a trailing. You're welcome. I sharpen edge trailing. Jeff, you see that? Even on the felt belt, I need to align it. Sweet. Yeah, that boning, the Victorinox boning knife, that's one of my favorite knives, and man, it is come in handy. I've never taken it to the deer lease and used it on a deer. I've got other knives for that, But you're exactly right. That would be a great knife to butcher a white-tailed deer. Little flex to it. Great knife to do that. Agent, I'm not familiar with that knife. Mark, this is an AMK 76 from amktactical.com. Check out their website. They're in Tennessee. amktactical.com. And you see I'm doing this knife over again because I messed up. I got distracted there with the YouTube screen and having to do it again. Mark, this is a brand new machine for me, so I'm getting used to it. I had their previous model, still have it, it's in my truck, AMK 75, which was slightly different. So it's taken me a while to get used to it. There you go, Jeff knows. Usually you can find the edge angle for the knives on the manufacturer's website. They'll always have a suggested edge angle. Whoops, sorry. I keep hitting the wrong thing on the screen. Let's see what somebody said something. Lloyd said, polishing number used for these knives. I go to 1200 grit, and then I just go to a felt belt. Now this is only on kitchen knives, and these are on. It just depends on the knife. I may take a shun to 2500. I don't know if I have an expertise on any knife. Japanese knives are really lower edge angle. So you would take a Japanese knife. Most of them are around 16 degrees, some as low as 12 degrees. If a knife comes in, I usually try to look it up online to see what the manufacturer suggests. If it's something I don't know, I mean, if it's a shun knife, it's going to be 16 degrees per side. So this is a paring knife, and so I'm going to do it at 18 degrees. Jim, how you doing? My pedal's in the way. Motor blades. I still get at least one call a week for mower blades. I got a guy now. There's a guy in town that does small engine repair, and he will sharpen lawnmower blades. So I'm sending him all that business. Exactly. You're exactly right, Agent. That's, depends on what you're using it for. I mean, if I was going to cut up some salmon real thin or some nice tuna, I would want a super low edge angle, razor sharp Japanese knife. I wouldn't use a 8-inch Victorinox chef knife to cut up a piece of salmon. But I wouldn't use a low edge angle Japanese knife to cut up potatoes or vegetables. I'd probably want something a little heavier, like like a Hinkle 20-degree mid-range. How do I calculate the angle here? I'll show you here in a minute. I use a digital edge finder, zero it out to the platen, and then my clamp has a place for it to sit, and then I just adjust the knife up and down. This bar back here, I don't know if y'all can see that bar. I can't see what y'all can see or not. This bar goes up and down, so when the knife is on the platen, you can change the edge angle up and down. That's why I like this machine. It gives you a very precise edge angle. It gives me a lot of control. I hope you subscribe to my channel, but also subscribe to the Primary Edge there, that's Jeff, and then Home Spark Knife Sharpening, that's Jim. 1200 degrees, 1200 grit is what I would finish Victorinox at. I don't strop mine. I want my Victorinox that I use on a day-to-day basis, I stop at 1200. I want them kind of grippy, I want them toothy, but that's just me. I mean, the conversation I have with clients is, do you want them slick? You want them, really slick or not? Some guys want them slick. Most people don't know the difference. That's exactly right. When I get knives in that have big chunks out of them, it's the Japanese ones. They're not for everybody. Most people don't take care of their knives. I don't think I would ever go to 3,000 or 8,000 grit on a knife. I think it would be so slick, if you wanted to cut a tomato, it wouldn't cut very well. There you go, just what he said. Just what Jeff said there. But everybody's got their opinion. Appreciate it very much. Be sure you subscribe to the other guys' channels too. We all support each other. We're all knife sharpeners in different parts of the country. Jeff is on the East Coast. Jim is in the Midwest. And I'm in Texas. Yes, that's exactly right. It comes like glass. And you can't slice, you won't be able to slice a tomato. And I notice when I over sharpen my Victorinox, if I'm trimming a brisket, it doesn't work as well. So I leave my boning knife fairly toothy if I'm going to trim a brisket. Christopher, this is an AMK 76 from AMK Tools. Their website is amktactical.com. They're in Tennessee. I charge by the inch, so it's $1 an inch. So this is a 3-inch paring knife, $3 for this one. Chef knife is $8. Oh, jeez, I did it again. No, too late. I want to start over, see? Getting distracted, reading the screen. I did some dog grooming shears earlier this morning. Waiting for the lady to pick them up. It is for most people. If you're just sharpening your own knives, you know, I mean, I'm a sharpening service. This is my business. So when I originally started off, I used a Tormek, and the Tormek was fine if I had, 10 knives on a weekend to sharpen. But when I started getting busy and I had 50 knives on the weekend, it just was too slow. So I had to have something else. And so I was looking around for different machines, and there was a similar machine like this that was about the same price, but it was really, this guy kind of custom made them, but it was wood. It used this huge motor on it, and it just had a real clunky clamp system. And I found this machine, or the 75, the AMK 75, and it was fantastic. It was a great price and everything, and it worked out well. How much do I spend on belts per month? Actually, I buy belts only about once a year. Mark, I do. I've got lots of videos on my YouTube channel, and I have them. You can go on there, and there's a section that says salon barber and pet grooming shears, and there's a bunch of videos on there, live streams and tutorials. But how much I spend on belts? I buy them usually I'll buy 12 of each one of them every 6 months. So this belt I think is $3 and something a piece, and I go through about one a month or so, I guess. They last a long time. They're not cheap. These belts are not cheap. They're quality belts. Now, if I use the cheap belts from Harbor Freight or the cheap belts from Home Depot and Lowe's, they don't last at all. But these are all 3M belts. They're about 3 times more expensive than the belts you buy at the hardware store, but they last a lot longer. All right, we're gonna do some steak knives now. There are people who will pay up for people to do whetstone sharpening. So you can make more money doing the whetstones. I don't do it. I turn it down. I don't do whetstone sharpening. Every once in a while, somebody will call me and say, "Hey, I want somebody to sharpen them by hand on whetstones." And I just tell them I'm not your guy. Steve, like I just said, I wouldn't do it. It's just not my business. I don't know if I was actually going to do it on whetstones. I'd probably a chef knife. I'd probably charge $30. I charge $35 to do salon shears in a salon, and that takes me about 20 or 30 minutes to do. So that's probably what I would charge. But you can do it. There are guys that make a living doing it on whetstones. It's just not going to be me. Ken Onion's a good little machine. I have one. I keep it in my truck. You know, what's your time worth? So these are steak knives. I am not going to go, I'm doing a 20-degree bevel on the steak knives, and I'm actually going to stop at 600 grit. I am not going to polish the steak knives. And there's a reason. Because what are people going to cut on when they use their steak knife? They're going to cut on a ceramic or a porcelain plate every time, and it's going to dull the knife. Oh, sorry. Yeah, once I get a bevel or a burr, I only need to do 2 strokes on the Cubitrons to refine the blade. So this is the first steak knife, and it's rather toothy. I'm just using a little piece of leather to get the burr off, and that's nice. That will hold an edge better with people sawing. Yeah, it does. It does have one. There's the speed control right there. I got it at about 50%. I think I'm running at about 1,800 RPMs. Check it out, amktactical.com. One by 30s. But this, Steve, this machine will take a 1 by 42 and a 2 by 42 also. The motor moves back. You have to move the motor back on the platform. Check out my YouTube video I just posted the other day. I just got this machine. This $1,000. Yep. That's what I paid for it. It's not cheap. I paid $800 or something for the AMK 75, and I've used it for 7 years, and it still works great. I'm not going to with this one. I bought this machine specifically to sit right here. The AMK 75 is in my truck, and it's for mobile. I moved it in there. I'm not familiar with gunny juice. Yeah, that's about right for the AMK 75. I think I actually got it for like $7.50. I'll have to look back I've got the receipt saved, the email receipt somewhere. I don't think I paid that much for it when I bought it. It was about 7 years ago. You just start it. You know, you get a machine, do some advertising, tell all your friends that you're sharpening knives. Facebook, get you a Google page, Google business page, advertise on Google. Most people are going to find you with a search on Google. There you go. Go inside their houses and dull their knives. Everybody's got a knife to sharpen. Everybody's got a knife that's dull. Oh, see what I did? I'm not paying attention. I went to 1200 on that one. I'm just gonna go back and do it at 600. Just leave it a little toothy. If I polish that edge on these steak knives, the first time they use it on that plate, it'll be super dull, and the next time they have steak, it won't cut the steak. So if you leave it a little toothy, it'll stay sharper longer. You're welcome. Thanks for the questions and thanks for subscribing. I had to stop for a water break. It's hot here today. No, it's not too bad. It's only 88. I don't like edge leading. It's just my opinion. Don't care for it. I've got the Tukler 1x30s, and if I use those at the farmers market, I will do edge leading at the farmers market. It's a little faster. I charge $1 an inch. So this is I think a 5-inch steak knife. I'll charge $5 to sharpen this. Thanks, Mark. I mean, these steak knives are really, really dull. I don't think they would cut a peanut butter sandwich. Not really. I only do one farmer's market, and it's here in our little town. I don't do a whole lot of business there. I mean, I'm steady, but really, the farmer's market, you know, I have mixed feelings about it. I always feel like I'm rushed, and I don't like to rush. I feel like I don't do as good of a sharpening job as I do here at the house. I charge more at the farmer's market because I have to pay for the booth there. But I meet a lot of people. That's the good thing about the farmer's market in your little town. And our town is about 110,000 people. It's fairly large, but I meet a lot of people. And this farmer's market is set up in a Bass Pro Shop parking lot. So it's got some traffic. And see, I did that again. I went too far. I did 1200 grit. I need to go back. Yesterday it was all about clipper blades. Last 2 days, a bunch of clipper blades. Exactly. That's the thing about the farmers market. You sharpen for people. You give them your card. You tell them about your Facebook page. They know you from then on out, and they'll bring them to your house. It's a good thing. But there's some guys that do farmers markets every weekend. The problem with doing a farmers market is I do dog groomers on the weekend. Most of the dog groomers bring me their tools on weekends, and it's always a lot of business there. So, not really a device to find out the edge angles. I mean, you can look online. There's a ton of information online for the different edge angles for different things. Go to sharpeningsupplies.com. They've got a lot of great articles on sharpening angles. They're great knives. Both of those are fantastic knives. That's what these are. These are the Hinkles, old Hinkles. This is a fantastic knife. EJ, this is my full-time job. I've been doing it full-time for 5 years now. I was a financial advisor for 29 years. I sat in an office and looked at a computer and talked to people about their money for 29 years, and I'd had enough. I started this business just as a side hustle while I was still working, and 5 years ago I quit. I sharpen salon, barber, and pet grooming shears, clipper blades, sewing and industrial scissors, and just about any kind of knife. I don't do lawnmower blades. Once in a while I'll do lawn tools, once in a while. Are you saying in terms of knives? It's what you can afford. I mean, if all you can afford is a dollar store knife, I can get it razor sharp. Most people should not use shun or any Japanese knife because the maintenance on them is so hard. Chicago cutlery is a good knife. The older ones were really good. The old carbon steel Chicago cutlery, wonderful knives, hard steel. Now they're all made in China. And most of the newer Chicago cutlery knives, they're kind of like dollar store knives. The metal is super soft on all the newer ones. Exactly. Just what Jeff said. Whatever knife is comfortable with. I'm a fan of Victorinox. I think they're a good knife for the price. Hinkle, Wusthof, Mizzen. You see the advertisements for the Mizzen brand knife. I've sharpened some of those. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the new from the old. I can tell when I get it on here. I can tell when the burr comes up. Oh man. Japanese knives are great if you take care of them, but sadly, most people don't take care of them. If somebody brings a knife for me to repair, it's always a Japanese knife with a big ding in it. I mean, a good sharpening steel, everybody should have a good sharpening steel. All right, we got one more knife left, and then I'm caught up until this afternoon. Appreciate everybody watching out there. Lou, do you have a sharpening steel? Have them professionally sharpened, and then use your steel from time to time to keep it sharp. Agent, I'm sorry. I usually don't charge anymore. If it's the real easy fix, like one of these knives had a broken tip on it, I'm not charging her anymore for the broken tip. It only took me a couple of seconds to fix the tip. Some guys charge extra. I don't. All right, that was the last knife of this block. So now I got to clean them all with alcohol and then put them back in the block. Appreciate everybody watching. Turn the dust collector off. I hope everybody has a great day wherever you're at. Cheers from Texas. Take care.